ADA finished with another green day yesterday, another great sign where we continue to take these steps forward, which is perfect. And I would say the best way to describe the market right now is cautiously optimistic. Because yes, we are seeing some of that capital re-enter the space, but it's more so tiptoeing in. And there's a few things that I need to show you guys, as well as something that does play devil's advocate to the trend that we're setting currently. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just looking at ADA again, guys, we're still sitting below our 20-day moving average. We have 3 straight days of green. We're starting to form this kind of parabolic motion here, which could easily be, rejected and pushed down by that 20-day moving average. That's something that we have to watch here. That's a focal point of contention for ADA, has been for a long time in this trend down. But you're starting to see just a little bit more optimism in the markets. A lot of green still, although ADA is down right now, it's kind of break even for the day. We'll see what the day does, in fact, bring. BTC sitting right on the edge of that breakout like we've been talking about. So we're, again, in very good spots across the space. All of our inverse head and shoulders are intact. We're feeling that bottom side pressure. It's not huge, right? When we look across the market, what we're seeing is just very low volume. Guys, $44 billion. Basically, yesterday we have to treat like a weekend because yesterday was Good Friday. Stock market was not open. No institutional buying taking place. So it was very quiet. But what we're starting to see is that on those quiet days, the market is trying to take some of these steps forward. And it's a question of, can it continue taking these steps forward? I do want to remind everyone that last weekend is when things started to get just a little bit lively. In fact, in terms of ADA, we saw a 5.71% daily candle. Am I saying that's going to happen again? Absolutely not. We'll just have to be patient and watch and wait. Now, what I did find interesting was I stumbled across this article saying Cardano is vulnerable to selling as short-term holders' profits hit 5 months high. And you're going to see a lot of these types of things come up, again, trying to shake retail. What this talks about, investors close to selling. And this actually references the MVRV score, which is showing that this short-term holder profit is higher for Cardano, and that's because what we've been seeing is people buying these dips, and you're starting to see obviously price rise, and it says there's a higher likelihood of selling. And while that may mostly be true under normal conditions, what we're not seeing for ADA is short-term holder capitulation. We have already exhausted that. Okay, I'm not saying there can't be any more, but what tends to be the mindset of Cardano holders is long-term holds, people building and holding for the future. And that's not surprising because of all the things that Cardano has been doing with this in this time, all these partnerships that have been put into place, all the ongoing developments, and these are great signs. And this is why ADA has one of the longest average hold times in all of crypto. And it's in fact been increasing despite the long time for holders to be around. So that's actually a very promising sign. This also points to the Chaikin money flow. It talks about this declining, saying that people are cautious. And yeah, the reason that people are cautious is just because, we have been very impacted throughout the space around this tariff news. Okay. And right now, what you're kind of seeing is, again, that cautious optimism from people in the crypto market. They're basically tiptoeing into the market. Okay. Fear greed index still in the fearful range, despite this little bit of fear, and it's probably going to stay here for just a little bit. And in fact, we look at USDT dominance, guys, look at this. It's just kind of tiptoeing around here. It's not really making this massive move down yet. Now, that being said, again, guys, we still, wow, if I could draw, we still have this inverse head and shoulders building here as well. So something to watch very closely. And again, this is something that could accelerate, especially as we make our way through the weekend and into next week. But what I do want to point to here as well, that really gives me a lot of confidence and kind of contradicts a lot of this, ADA might see decline or people are ready to sell and crap like that, is that we continue to see this outflow from exchanges in terms of ADA. All right. So people are accumulating and holding and removing supply from exchanges. And this has been ongoing. This is just the daily. This has been an ongoing thing for a very long period of time. And I know we occasionally talk about this, but what we've been consistently seeing, just even over the last 3 weeks, is pretty consistent flows of $20+ million worth of ADA. All right. That is major conviction. The last time we actually had an inflow week to exchanges was back the week of February 23rd. And that would have been what that led us into the first week of March, or first couple of days of March, go figure. And so So yeah, I mean, we're, it's it's really not the negative thing that it's being portrayed to be. All right. The data is showing us something completely different. Now, what we do need to watch very closely heading into the weekend is we're once again getting into these very tight compressions. And what you're seeing is the market getting kind of antsy. Okay. We have shifted to a point where now there is again a larger portion of longs than shorts. Longs are getting more confident, so we definitely need to pay attention to that. And BTC is very tightly compressed in this liquidation range again. We have short liquidations that actually start big concentration of them at about 85.5, which right now price is about 85.2 in terms of BTC. It's very close to these levels. What we're seeing right now is long leverage liquidations in big ranges at about 84.2. So this is very, very squeezed right now. And so we might in fact see things either get a little jumpy or a little bit droppy. All right. We're seeing the same exact thing take place in terms of ADA too. Let me just pop this up so you guys can see right at about 63.6 and right down at about 68. All right. 60.80. That's our range. ADA is getting compressed here. BTC is getting compressed here. Luckily, low volume is our friend. That is where we don't make volatile moves one way or the other. So it's a question of what are we going to get? Do we see some more confidence as we make our way through the weekend? Is this enough to kind of push us and start to create these breakouts? If we do start closing those candles above this 20-day moving average, I think that's going to be a very good sign for ADA. That's where you might start to see us kind of get out of this range of cautious optimism and slightly more, we'll call it moderate optimism. Okay. So that's just what we have going on right now. Yes, they're still trying to manipulate the market. Yes, they're trying to cause retail to capitulate. But if you haven't noticed over time, it's working less and less and less. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.